Hello guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you another item in my collection. It's an item I bought recently, and it's a relic. I don't actually collect relics as such. I've only got maybe one or two other relics in my collection, that is, items which were found on a battlefield, a particular battlefield. And this particular item here was found by a French collector, a metal detectorist in northern France, near the town of Argentan. And this is a Falaise Pocket relic, so possibly lost during the Battle of the Falaise Gap back in August of 1944. So as you can see, it's a spoon and fork set. It's the standard Wehrmacht utility, cutlery utility item issued to soldiers back in the Third Reich period. This particular item is dated 1939. There is a date just there, and it is maker marked CFH there, and there's also a Waffenamt mark in the middle there. I'll take a photograph as a close-up. So as I say, this is a relic, a item found, and it's in pretty good condition considering it's been buried or lost for 80 years plus. As I say, it was found on the battlefield near the town of Argentan. For you who do not know, the Falaise Gap was a pocket held by the German military in the days after the D-Day invasion. We're talking about around the 6th to the 17th of August. And the German 7th Army and 5th Panzer Army were trapped within this pocket. And Argentan was the town on the southern mouth, I suppose you could call it, of the gap. Argentan was captured by the Americans, by the 3rd U.S. Army, and I think around, I can't remember offhand just now, but anyhow, I think about, nope, I can't remember when it was captured originally, but there was heavy fighting, and the southern border of the Falaise Gap was basically defended by the 116th Panzer Division and also elements of the SS Panzer Division, Das Reich. So it could have belonged to anybody from their divisions, I suppose. It could have been lost. The soldier could have been killed in action, could have been captured, POW. I'm not quite sure, but there were about 100,000 Germans trapped within the pocket. But with counterattacks and defending the pocket mouth, up to about 50,000 Germans escaped the pocket before it shut. The Falaise Gap was basically fought between the 6th and I guess the 20th or thereabouts, 21st of August 1944, when the pocket was actually finally shut. The pocket was attacked from the north by British and Canadians, and from the west and south by the 1st and 3rd U.S. Army. And as I said, this was found near Argentan, which is, as I said, the southern portion of that battle. So it's quite a nice item. As I say, it's a German utility item. It just opens like so. There are a couple of studs on the front here of the spoon that hook into these little recesses on the back of the fork, and it shuts it like so. So you got the spoon on one side and the fork on the other side. It is made out of aluminum, and as you can see, it's very nice condition considering. And it's a nice item from my collection. I've always wanted one of these cutlery items. I'm not quite sure exactly what you would call it. I think a lot of collectors call these I don't know, sporks or something like that. It's a combination of fork and spoon, but I don't really think that's the correct term for this particular item. Anyhow, as you can see, it's in very nice condition here. I like the way it just shuts down. It would have been kept in the bread bag along with the rest of the items. The Germans would have usually carried a separate knife for cutting bread and the like. This was basically designed for their rations, which would have been soups or stews produced by the kitchen units, so suitable for eating out of the mess tin As I said, mostly stews and soups and the like. And as I said, it's nicely marked there. You can just about see it there. So anyhow, I'll leave it at that. So as I say, it's just a relic item. As I say, I don't have very many of them. There's a couple of more, I think. So it's nice to have it here. It has a bit of history. Be interesting to know who it belonged to. A member of the Wehrmacht, a member of the SS. But a bit of history behind it. It's got a nice tactile item. Folds up quite nicely, as you can see here. And it's been sitting on the ground, just buried somewhere for the last 80 years. As I said, it was only about a year ago that it was discovered. I bought it off a dealer that deals with French metal collectors, metal detectorists and the like. And as I said, it's one of the items, few items in my collection. I know its provenance, where it came from, which is quite nice, I suppose. As I say, I don't really collect relic items. That's a little bit morbid, I think, sometimes. Collectors, collecting relic helmets and all that kind of stuff doesn't really do anything for me. But anyhow, I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.